Hey everyone, how are you doing? You have Mike and Sierra here, and as you see from the title, we're having a head-to-head with the Eheim versus the Hydor.
Yeah, so we're putting the Eheim Professional 4 Plus 350 against the Hydor Pro 350.
It is kind of hard to say it fast, isn't it?
It is. It's a tongue twister.
So both these units here are very similar in size, so I guess they make great units to compare.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fair comparison. The Eheim is rated, the head pump is 278 gallons per hour, where the Hydor is 280 gallons per hour. So very similar. With the Eheim, it's rated up to a 90-gallon tank. And
And yeah, the Hydor is rated up to a 100-gallon tank, which I'm going to say both of these filters, I probably wouldn't put them on a 100 or 90-gallon tank as my preference.
yeah, basically that's just because we like to go with heavy filtration and a higher flow. So if that was the case, we'd probably look at the next model up.
Yeah. So I guess both of these filters are really nice, cool, sleek design and whatnot. But I think it's easy to move around. If it was any bigger for me to carry, I would have a really hard time with my back to pick it up and move it. And I think that's
A bonus.
a bonus
It is
for
a
both of them.
bonus.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's often overlooked is how easy it is to actually detach and maintenance it and carry it around, basically. Because once you get to huge sizes, it's heavy.
It's heavy. Yeah, it
It's
is.
heavy.
It's heavy
So
to move around. Yeah.
they're very easy, sleek, compact,
Compact units. Yeah.
units that are easy to service.
Yeah, you can hide them under your cupboard, no problem. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a actual flow rate test. Now to do that, we have a timer with a switch, and this basically allows me to start it at the same time as a stopwatch, so that we can calculate how much.
Yeah, basically we're going to get the true flow rate here with it full of media, the hoses, everything connected. So we'll see what it's actually pumping out with all of those things considered in like a real world situation.
Yeah. So just before we start that, though, I just want to mention that we actually do really love both of these filters. They're both great companies that make them. One's Italian, one's German. It's kind of like, Mercedes versus Ferrari.
We're talking fish here, Mike. Let's get
Yeah.
back on topic. But
Yeah,
no,
no.
they're both, like Mike was saying, reputable companies, and they come with everything you need. So they come with decent biomedia right in the box. We'll talk a little bit more about each of them later on, but
Yeah.
they're both ready to use, compact, and easy to hide.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so let's get into the experiment. So what we did was I completely washed out both the units, um, cleaned out the impellers, the impeller housing. Hoses are cleaned. Basically switched out the media that I had in there, which would be the pinky filter floss with the standard floss. So basically, it's as stock as possible in order to do the experiment. And how we did the experiment was, like I was saying, was two buckets, and connected them into a tank, and basically started with the timer, and so she went. So
So we were able to get the flow rate for a minute here and then figure out the flow rate for an hour. So let's get to the video and check it out.
so in three, two, one. All right, so we're 13 seconds in. You can see the time here. 35 seconds in. 40. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shut them off. Alright guys, so now that we've seen the flow rate from the Hydor and the Eheim, I'd say that the Hydor is the clear winner over here.
Just wait a minute there, Mike. You're missing a few points about the Eheim that you really just can't.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that. What do you got?
I got a 3-year warranty, so this beast here, 3 years guaranteed to run, and I mean that's pretty good. They have been known to run up to 20, 30 years, but 3 years from the manufacturer, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, that's it's a little bit better than the Hydor, I can say, with the Hydor having a 2-year warranty. But both those warranties are actually pretty good because you can buy canister filters online without warranties. So 2 years is still better than nothing.
That's true.
I would say that I think the biggest advantage that you have is probably the unit being a little bigger.
Yeah, so I have a lot more biospace. Well, maybe not a ton more, but there's 7.4 liters with the Eheim Pro 4, where the Hydor has.
I think 6.6 liters, so just a little bit smaller. Not much, just a
But
little
my
bit.
extra, almost a liter, or point 0.8 of a liter.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. The good thing about mine is, though, it costs a little bit less, so I'm only going to look. It's only going to cost me like $220 Canadian, which is a little bit cheaper than your Eheim, which is going to cost you how much?
So the Eheim is coming in with a higher price tag at about 290 Canadian. So that is the one disadvantage is that
It's about $70 cheaper than mine's about $70 cheaper than hers. So that's kind of a little bit of brownie points or victory points for the Hydor, I'd have to say.
That being said, though, like you said, I'm getting a longer warranty, and I do have a little bit more space in there, so a little bit more room for biomedia. Maybe could possibly handle a bit of a bigger tank.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say that. I don't think that either of these filters would run a tank to my satisfaction, like a 100-gallon tank or a 90-gallon tank. I'm quite happy with them on my 50-gallon tanks, maybe up to a 75-gallon.
Yeah, that being said, they do work well for that. The one nice thing about the Eheim that I really like is the controllable flow. So I have a flow control on there. Basically, if I want to turn it off for feeding, or if I want to put some plants in and not watch them get blown around the tank, I have complete control over that, which big bonus there.
Yeah, I can't really say that. I don't really have any flow control. I do have an unplug option though, and it works very well for that. But yeah, I guess you got me beat there. So I guess I'm still got the higher flow though, just by a little bit, right? So I find that the initial install of the Hydor was a little bit easier than the Eheims due to having to heat up the hoses to put them on, and it was just a little bit more difficult with the Hydor. You just screw them together and it locks tight and good to go.
Yeah, so you do have an easier install. The Eheim, the hoses aren't as easy to connect on just simply because it doesn't have the screws on it. But I do have an easier disconnect. So to disconnect this filter, super easy. Turn the flow rate off, push the button, and there we go, disconnected. No mess, no fuss, and no need to yell, Sierra, bring a towel.
Yeah, okay. So caught there. Yes, the Hydor, when you are disconnecting those very easy to unscrew valves, even with them turned off, you will get about 2 cups of water on the floor. So that is a warning. Either have a towel, a tray, or a Sierra handy in order to help you clean up the mess. So that is kind of a little bit of a disadvantage, I have to agree. But saying that, the spray components with the Hydor are probably a little bit better than the ones with the Eheim, considering I could have a jet, I can turn it any which way I want, and the spray bar comes to about, I think it's almost like 4 feet, so it is a pretty giant spray bar.
Yeah, it is pretty true. It has a huge spray bar, and you do have both options. So I mean that is a nicer feature on it. But we do have a special new feature that Eheim introduced with the Pro 4, which is the extender function. Basically, it's designed to bypass the fine filter media and just give you a few more days in between cleanings, or if it was an emergency and you just couldn't service it right away. But basically, yeah, it gives you that bypass, that extra bit of time, which makes it a little bit.
Yeah, it makes it last a little bit longer, right? I'm going to put a diagram here up on the screen, and just going to show with the extender function running on normal, you're going to see that it's sucking through the fine filter floss and moving its way up. With the extender function turned on, you're going to see it here that it's just going through the bypass and it's missing that fine filter foam. So just keep a good note if you have one of these filters that you are using it correctly.
Yeah, you do want to have your valve in the right position. If not, you are just bypassing your fine filter floss. So for normal uses and when it's not time to really extend the cleaning interval, you definitely want to have it in the right position. So
yeah, I think when it comes to biomedia as well, I think the Hydor has some fairly good media with it being sintered glass. But I do think that maybe Sierra has got me beat a little bit with the biomedia.
yeah, so the Eheim is 3 different types of biomedia. One is like a plastic kind of ring. The other 2 are more sintered quartz. It's very similar to the Hydor, but they do have 3 different types, and they have different purposes. Some of them serve more as a mechanical or mechanical biological kind of purpose, so
Yeah.
it is pretty effective at those things.
Yeah, I really like the Mech Pro being in the bottom. It does collect a lot of the little fine materials, so it is actually pretty solid media. And I think that's probably a little bit why the price is higher as well, because there's different types of media. And I would say a little bit that the media is a little bit better in the Eheim.
Now, the one thing that I will say that is nice about the Hydor, since we're being nice here, is that the Hydor, when you put the hoses on and you actually connect them, it swivels, so you can really position the canister any kind of way you want. The swivel action is a nice bonus feature that you don't see on the Eheim. That being said, though, it is super easy to disconnect and set up, so there's really
Yeah.
no issues with it, but swivel hoses is a somewhat bonus for you.
Yeah. So the next thing we want to hit on is kind of power consumption. The Eheim is actually using
16 watts, so it's actually very power efficient and energy efficient. So, especially when the energy bill's going up and the cost that it's been, anything that
Everything
saves
is-
that
yes.
on power is great.
yeah. So when you have the Hydor here, this is running actually at 22 watts, so it is using a little bit more compared to her 16. So we want to hear what you guys think in the comments. And if you guys haven't already watched our unboxing videos and how to set them up, I really do suggest to do that, especially if you're looking to purchase one of these units yourself, so you can see exactly what's entitled to set it up. It's always handy.
Yeah, and it shows you basically all the features of each unit, the good things, the bad things about both of them, and yeah, hopefully this gives you a better idea how we feel about them, gives you a bit of an update as well for those of you who have been wondering how our Eheim has been wondering, or how our Eheim has been running, and it's still working great.
It's still running. It's doing an awesome job. It hasn't ran out of the house yet, so it's good. So you guys in the comments down below, just pick what team you like. If you like Team Hydor, let us know in the comments. If you like Team Eheim, let her know in the comments. And
Or you
we'll
could
get
just
back
let
to
us
you.
know if you like Team Eheim. That's cool too.
No, you got to say Team Hydor here at the end. Now, yeah, I'm telling you, we'll see a lot of Team Hydors in the comments. Just
I got
because of my
faith in
pure
I got
awesomeness.
faith in Team Eheim.
We'll see. We'll see.
I got faith. We got some people out there. All the people that have been using it 20, 30 years, let us know. How long has your Eheim been running? I want to know.
Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys very much for watching, and you have yourself a great day.